Shelli here with a very personal video. By nature, I'm a private person, but today is a good day to share my personal sim story. Why today? Because I've been having immense fun and great challenges working on my new YouTube channel, specifically creating a story for the upcoming StrangerVille game pack. This pack has caused me to reflect why The Sims is such a special game to me. So I thought I would take today to share this video with you and share why The Sims is important to me. I also have this posted on my WordPress, so if you'd just prefer to read it, go ahead and do that there. So unlike a lot of people, I didn't begin playing The Sims as a kid. My dad actually played the original Sims, and my kids played The Sims as well. So when The Sims 4 was released, my youngest enjoyed playing it and would share the builds and Sims with me, and I kind of watch and kind of help out. I was kind of interested. But yet, still then, as in those past 16 years of The Sims being around, I have been really busy with other things. I've been momming, working, just doing all kinds of other things. However, after a work injury and recovery, I found myself with more time than I'd ever had before. My kids were getting older, and I had more time to do some things. So I think there was an Origin sale, and I bought my own copy of The Sims and played here and there. It was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. It was kind of the thing that I could just spend a couple hours doing, or if nobody was around, spend 6 hours building something. And my first build, I didn't know about roofs, so that was funny, but there weren't seasons, so I don't worry too much. And then a couple of years ago, in the spring of 2016, and I had to find out the date from that by going back and looking at the release dates of packs. So I thought that was kind of funny. I'm pretty sure that's when it was 2016. I was hospitalized with a stroke. So therefore, I don't really remember a whole lot of that time. After I was released from the hospital, because of my professional training, I knew the importance of rebuilding the connections in my brain's superhighway. Yet, I couldn't focus to read, which was something I have always loved since I was 4 years old. I've always had several books going, and I really love reading. It was very difficult for me to read anything new, to comprehend anything new. I needed to relearn to walk, and my eye-hand coordination needed work, so I was unable to draw, sew, or craft. My Sims game called me. Not really. It didn't really call me, but figuratively it called to me, and I began playing The Sims. I fell in love with the sandbox style and the rich history and sim lore. The game was simple enough for me to play with minimal frustration. I could play an hour or maybe even 3, and then not play for a few weeks and pick right back up where I left off. Of course, there are always sales, and so I bought the extra packs when there were bundle deals. Pretty soon, I had a complete or nearly complete collection. Then, a year ago in February 2018, Jungle Adventure was released, and I didn't wait for a sale. Sorry, honey. It looked too intriguing, and by then I was watching a couple videos and YouTubers and kind of getting involved in the community a little bit, and so I just couldn't wait. It looked like too much fun. I played Jungle Adventure. I'm really wimpy, but yet I played through it. I was really scared with the temple scene and the skeletons. Would something go wrong? But I persevered, and I had an absolute lovely, fun time doing it. I was hooked on The Sims. I loved the build buy, and I started building. So one of the things that really intrigued me was the stories about the Watcher. I wanted to find out more. I started reading the build buy object descriptions. My brain was working really well, I think. It was starting to retain things. I could remember, and this is part of the healing process. You know, it takes a while. But I really think that delving into the sim lore helped me. It was my way of being able to read things and start retaining them. I branched out to The Sims 3. And The Sims Medieval, which I am really terrible. I killed the queen right away. But while I was continuing to sim and I was having trouble with other games, but while I was continuing to sim, of course, my brain was continuing to heal. My eye-hand coordination and small motor skills were almost back to what I had before. And not more importantly, but really important to me was that my imagination and curiosity had returned. Even though The Sims is a simple game, it's never the same each time I play. It's never the same time you play. There are always little things that go on that you have to make decisions. You have to, even if something happens and a sim dies and you exit without saving and you go to play that same scene again, it's not the same. So for me, my brain has to work really hard to figure things out. It has to tell my fingers how to use the mouse and keyboard, which at first were really challenging. I have to look at the UI, and most people may say, or many people may say, oh, that's really easy. But for me, it's keeping track of all those things. At the very beginning, I remember a couple years ago, it was almost overwhelming. One of the things that I really loved about Sims 4 is the UI is much cleaner. It's much easier for me to see. When I switched to play Sims 3, it was very difficult. And not only that, the camera controls, I was just frustrated, but I thought, I really like this game. I want to play it. If kids can play this, I can figure it out. And that was one of the things that I thought, this is a family game. This is not some really difficult video gaming thing. I can figure this out. I can do this. I can tell the stories that I'm creating in my head. So I feel like going between Sims 3 camera and Sims 4 camera and then learning the free camera mode and trying to figure out how to do that has really helped my body and my mind work together. And sometimes I have felt that my body and my mind don't want to cooperate. Another thing that during this time happened is that I have been diagnosed with a genetic connective tissue disorder called hypermobile EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And this is the impetus for my making this video. As you saw in the beginning, and if you're on Twitter or on any social media with The Sims, you saw the screenshots of the contortions and all of those things. When I first saw those, I was laughing because I thought, oh, it looks like somebody who's hypermobile or who has EDS. But that's not really the case. So for me, it was kind of funny. And I had a conversation with Cinderella Mouse on Twitter when she was asking, and I thought, you know what? I want to be upfront about this and let people know that, this is how we are. This is how I am. I have many days where mobility is difficult for me. If I do too much repetition, you should see me before I sit down to record or something. I'm bracing up, keeping my everything stable. But even those bad days that I have, I can actually get my laptop and I can be in a recliner or be in bed and I can sim and keep my mind off of me. I can focus on the Sims. I can focus on creating NicerHomesnLots, which is my origin ID. And if you know anything about Build By from here goes my brain. Hold on. Word finding here. I'm going to find that pack. Let's see. It is the movie Hangout stuff. See, there's a little thing of how my brain's going, but I get there eventually. So, the movie Hangout pack, there's something called NicerHomesnLots, and I was intrigued. So I chose that as my origin ID because I thought it was really fun. And I want to create nicer homes and lots. So anyway, several months ago, a year ago, my therapist recommended I start doing something creative. She said, maybe do a blog or do something that's creative because I can't really sew and craft and do some of the things that I really have enjoyed doing most of my life. And by that time, I was reading Tumblr and WordPress blogs and watching YouTube channels. And then in August, I discovered Twitch and the streamers and really became more active on Twitter and felt like I was becoming part of this wonderful community. So in December, I decided to take the plunge and I created my WordPress blog and my YouTube channel here. And the learning curve has been really steep for me, but it's worth it. Perhaps it's just in my own mind, but I think that I can figure out new things more quickly because of these experiences. I don't know where this new venture will take me. I've learned that life is short, and one minute you can be brushing your teeth and the next minute you're awake in a hospital bed. or 1 minute you're standing up and the next minute you're passed out on the floor, or, life is short. We don't know what the future holds. But I do know that for the foreseeable future, I'm going to continue to share my enjoyment of The Sims' rich history, my enjoyment of all the pre-mades and the townies, whom I just love all the work that's been put into them, and the beautiful worlds, and improve my building skills, improve my skills as a YouTuber, and just connect with this amazing community. I have such a connection to this game because it has helped me heal my brain, and it helps me get through the tough days. For that, I am grateful. And I realized that the announcement of StrangerVille with those GIFs and those screenshots of the contorting Sims, that, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to be open about hEDS, about disabilities, disorders, post-brain injury life, and the challenges of living with weird symptoms and conditions and invisible chronic disorders and syndromes. Although they don't define me, they are a part of who I am. The Sims, in an interesting twist, has helped me recognize this. Thank you for listening to my story. If you have any questions about Ehlers-danlos syndrome, about strokes, traumatic brain injuries, hypermobility, dysautonomia, or anything about The Sims, I love reading The Sims lore. I love reading the packs. I love gameplay and building. Please feel free to ask me on my Twitter or Tumblr, or you can join my Discord. So thanks again. I'll say it again. Thank you again for watching this. And as always, have a Sim-tastic day. Dag dag.